I'm honored to have an all-star panel with me today. I have Andrew Breimer from Pernod Ricard USA, John Cicero from Team Enterprises, and Kristen Hanna from Ayatana XP. So what do you guys think an agency can do that, say Pernod or Andrew can't just do in-house, right? He mentioned he brought a lot of it in-house. Why would a supplier go to an agency at all? Why don't they just do it themselves if they have the budgets? Kristen, why don't you let us know what you think?
Well, several reasons I would say, but one of the top that comes to mind with our current clients is capacity and resources. So we work with a lot of smaller brands that are kind of in the growth phase, but the team is one person or two people doing everything. And there aren't enough hours in the day to get that done. So, when you bring in an agency partner who can really take a lot of that weight off of your plate, we become an extension of our clients and the team. And then it really just helps, build and grow the brand. We're doing it together. And then outside of the obvious, which I know, Ryan, you are there for, which is the indemnification, right? So that's a big one as well. But I was in-house for 7 years. So I worked with a lot of the brand teams. And what they always said is like, I can't be the expert of everything, right? Like when you are a brand director and brand manager, you understand you have the strategy, the vision, your strategic objectives, everything else that you're doing. But, you can't be the master of all, right? So you bring in partners that is their discipline. That is their expertise. And I had one director say, I hire agencies to bring ideas and to be smarter than I am within that discipline, right? And then you work together as an integrated agency team to really, those are the best programs that you see, is when 4 to 5 different agencies come together and work with the brand team. So those would be a few of the reasons. I see Andrew nodding yes. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think there's parts of our business that we did bring in-house, but I think there's still so much of that business that, especially from a creative, from an experiential, from an on-premise perspective, that you still need the agencies for. We still do, use them. And Kristen does work with our up and coming, brands that are, more in that craft boutique, not part of our big book of the Absolutes and Jamesons, like the Monkey 47s, the Abelours of the world. So, those brands need the edge that, a boutique agency brings to it, and that thinking outside the box. And, we still do use third party, agencies for a number of things. And I think a lot of it, like I said earlier, is networking relationships. And, there's some brands that really need that. And, agencies bring that because they bring that Rolodex with them, and they bring that strategic thinking of how to take a smaller brand. Kristen mentioned she worked on Jameson when it was probably a 1 million case brand. Now it's, well above that. And we needed that at the time. We needed that thinking to get us where we are today.
Yeah.
And John, what do you think? I mean, what can Team do that, let's say, Bacardi couldn't do on their own, or any of your other new clients?
Well, similar to what Kristen was saying, I think that we call them innovation brands, but we as Team, we don't get, because we are a below the line agency. So Bacardi's using, the BBDOs of the world and some of the bigger agencies that we get opportunities with to work some of these smaller brands, because either they need more of a hand sell kind of mechanic, or they need a little more attention, I guess you can say. I mean, developing programs, and I don't want to get into this in terms of, because it's a whole different seminar, but for Bacardi Savannah Club, we developed something called Amparo, which is like a live immersive experience, but it was something that brand needed to kind of like to get off the ground and really make a splash. But so, yeah, we're working a lot with Bacardi smaller brands in that way. And I guess there's some things that we can do that necessarily couldn't do internally. I guess it's the networks of people that we can tap into when it comes to advocacy from the entree perspective. That, I think bartenders sometimes they don't want to, they sometimes feel more comfortable working with an agency as opposed to a supplier, so to speak. because there's a little more flexibility there, and that varies by what we're talking about. But yeah, I think there's a few reasons on top of in some cases when we were working more in the on-premise, deferring liability, so to speak.